Afternoon to our esteemed viewers out there. You're welcome once again to Sports Orbit Extra, our coverage of the AFCON 2023. My name is Afa Acho. Salifu Usman is in the studio on today's edition of the program. Salifu, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Thank you, Acho.
All right, of course, at the beginning of this journey, it was 24 teams who all started this exciting football adventure. But as it stands today, two teams remain in this edition of the African Cup of Nations, and that is Nigeria and host Cote d'Ivoire. Yes, we saw those interesting semi-final games last night. The first match where Nigeria took on South Africa, which at the end of 130 minutes, it was Nigeria 4, South Africa 2 on penalties. It was after the game ended 1-1. Salifu, what a game it was. I mean, while we did our preview of that encounter yesterday, none of us discussed penalties because honestly, I didn't think the South Africans were going to, stretch us to the limit, to the point of, going all the way to penalties. And reason why most Nigerians were afraid of penalties was because of the heroics of the South African keeper against Cape Verde in the quarterfinal match. But yesterday it was completely different. For a ball game, out of 5 penalties, we missed one, and the only one Nigeria missed was, completely over the bar. The keeper didn't even, lay his hand on even any 4 of the penalties that went in. In fact, altogether, 6 penalties. Yes, exactly, in that match.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's what has made football very unique and very quite different, and that's why in the game of football, we keep on saying 1 + 1 can never be 2. That the fact that you perform well here, you should expect that you are going to repeat the same format when you come to different teams. Every team comes with a different approach and a different style of play. And just like say, including myself, everybody was so scared that okay, we should allow this game to go into the penalty. That if you get to the penalty, ultimately we are going to be we will be on the other dog. Ultimately, we don't have the edge against the South Africa. And looking at the match properly from the start of the whistle, it was quite interesting game. Both teams were playing with conscious and to avoid committing unnecessary foul, unnecessary mistake. Eagles started the match well in the early of the first half, but the South African were also equal to the task, trying to nip into the defense and ensure that anywhere Nigeria to make a mistake, they have to take that advantage, and that keep them into the game, and then gradually. After the second half, South Africa appeared to have taken over the game and appeared being the one dictating, look more dangerous to score a goal. And then thanks to Sterling Nwabali, who has become proved to be one of the heroes of this tournament, one of the revolution of this tournament, were equal to the task on different occasions, like particularly in the 28 minutes and in the 28 minutes and the 39 minutes, Tau Percy call into the action, and the guy was always on alert to answer every question whatever question was thrown at him. And then when we thought that okay, Nigeria almost came back into the second half, believing that okay, Nigeria gradually come back into the game, we begin to make some call, and actually through that mainly call that we were making, Osimhen was run into their 18-yard, and then the succeeded foul was made, and we got the penalty. And thanks to the leadership qualities of Troost-Ekong again, coming to the rescue, stand up, and then take that responsibility, and he deliver well. And okay, from there, Nigeria begin to sing a song of praise that yes, this match is in my hand. And we at the time we begin to feel that yes, the match is for us to win. Almost 88 minutes, we are counting down. Okay, we are approaching down. Nigeria got the second goal. Ultimately, the beer drama was something else. It was at that moment it became very tired, very tense game for Nigerians, and even though the fans and everybody across the continent, across the world, were so how is this match getting to? But if you ask me, I quite commend the Super Eagles players. They demonstrated the good leadership and the commitment. But one thing I noted in that match yesterday, I don't know if you also observed with me, is the changes that the coaches made.
Yeah, I was going there, yeah.
Was that the change the coaches made? To me, I blame the South African resurgence towards the dying minute of the match largely on that changes. I believe, yes, to some extent, in my view, I may be wrong, but in my view, looking at that match, I don't know what's the opinion. It's like the coach got his calculation wrong at that particular time, particularly removing Moses Simon for Sukuji. In my view, was a wrong calculation. And even at the same time, even Alex Iwobi, yes, some Nigerians have complained about our Iwobi performance even before that match. But in that particular match yesterday, I don't see Alex Iwobi, either he was in fact, but I don't see much fault about Alex Iwobi in that match yesterday. But I believe that actually, in my view, I expect the coach to allow us to manage those players, particularly that we are almost heading to the end, but he removed those players. I don't know what is your opinion.
No, sometimes like I always say, when a coach do substitutions, the coach is there with. We're watching from the coach is there with the players.
Yeah.
It could be something he noticed. Like I remember in the game against, I can't remember. I think Angola, where he substituted. I think Frank Onyeka, where he almost led to a shouting match between him and the captain. He said from while they were playing that the captain told him that Frank was running out of energy, so he should be substituted. But the coach said he asked Frank, and Frank said he was okay. But of course, like the coach later admitted that sometimes, of course, because a player wants to remain on the pitch, even if he's tired, he tell you that he's fine. But clearly, and like he said the captain is like the coach on the pitch. So he's the one with the players on the pitch. He knows better. That the captain actually told him that, look, you have to change Frank and bring in Aribo. Looks like Frank is running out of energy, which he eventually did. So sometimes these substitutions, like we might say, okay, Moses might, but maybe because at a point it looked like Moses was running out of, because even Frank in that match, at some point yesterday, Frank was completely tired. Because you could see that because Sanusi wasn't in that match, Calvin Bassey, throughout this competition, he has always operated as a DM.
Yeah.
So you could see that yesterday Frank operated alone, which he did very well. So Calvin Bassey operated as a left back. So Frank was completely out of energy. For Alex Iwobi, at a point, yeah, he did well, but at a point, he was giving away some balls too easily. And I think it was becoming a problem. And removing him to bring in Yusuf, I think it was more of a situation where the coach felt, okay,
we need to defend the goal.
We need to defend the goal. So why not throw in more defenders? But bringing in the likes of Murphy, for me, I think was spot on. In fact, the changes of Murphy, Iheanacho,
yeah, that was spot on.
Spot on, because like I said, once I was doing that, I said, look, this is the manager. Hey, they practice, and when you are training with a team, you train for everything, penalties. So and like if you go through so many all social media, people gave him kudos for that. That look, the coach knows the people who are penalty takers exactly, and all their penalties apart from Aina were spotless, wonderful penalties and all of that. So and one thing we must some people are beginning to agree with and some of us we had doubted Pesero, but looking at this performance, I think Pesero, in the truth be told, I eat my words, I think he's not a bad coach.
Yeah, yes.
I think he's not a bad coach because sometimes, because when he came in, we had a team that was down on morale, disjointed team, so he had to take some time to build. But now we've seen him properly in the competition mode where he has had plenty of time to spend with the team, and you could see that from his spending time with the team, he's been able to establish a first 11. After this tournament now, going forward, if Nigeria is going to play a match, I'm sure most Nigerians will be able to, top of their head, call the first 11. Because in the past, you couldn't. It was like every Nigerian match, there were new players coming, they were testing players, but now we seem to have a settled team. At least we have the core of the team, which I think kudos to Pesero for that. So I think going forward, and his tactics in this Nations Cup, I think he has found a proper tactics with the players he has for the Super Eagles, with the kind of game he wants to play.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm one of those who are in the earliest day of his job that also not quite comfortable with him,
Exactly.
even when his contract was done after the 1 year first contract.
Yeah, some of us
when we're calling for a renewal, we're against it. I said, no,
exactly.
this man doesn't deserve any extension of the contract. But when the Nigerian Football Federations, I also give kudos to the Nigerian Football Federation, have a different view about our own view, and then they decided to continue with him. And just like you rightly say, to some extent, we need to give those of us who has condemned him before, need to apologize to him and they say commend him for what he has done so far, particularly for this tournament. He has proved to be one of the best coaches in this tournament, if not even the best coach in the tournament. Because all we lose of the other coaches, no matter how best we are, we are back home. But he's still in the tournament. So obviously, by every year and by every decision, we try to agree with him. He's the best coach. He's the only coach. He's here to test the defeat in this competition. So for every Saturday, you give kudos to him. And like I say, if you're looking at his starting now. Before now, he's keep on experimenting. It's like all his experiment has worked. And even the defense before the tournament, some of us have casted down on the defense. The Nigeria have become the team that they have the best defense in the tournament so far. And whose player is he using? They are not strangers. They are all the players who are also within this team before. But either they don't know how to best to use them. But he has been able to succeed in how to manage those players and succeed them. For instance, his four back line have be able to master themselves and have a working relationship and solidify that defense. And the goalkeeper who is just coming to the into the team for the first time. Stanley Nwabele is coming to this team for the first time. He has never played for Nigeria before. He's earned his first cap in a pre-tournament friendly against Guinea, which also conceded 2-0. And the people look like, well, maybe it may be like another Uzoho, but as God will have it, he has turned to be another the revelation of the tournament. And then now we are in the final. And particularly if you are asking me who are those players who do we need to comment in these competitions, I think I single out all the players, but I must give kudos to certain players, like players like Toost-Ekong have done fantastically well. Stanley Nwabele have done fantastically well. Alhasan have done very well. Kevin Vasin, if you recall, Kevin Vasin didn't start the first match against Equatorial Guinea. It was the injury to the issue. If not for the injury for the issue in the first one, he would have given Kevin Vasin opportunity. That gave him opportunity. He came into the team and grabbed the shirt and grabbed it well at the first 11, at one of the first 11. He has also done fantastically well. And some Ademola Lookman, the supporting striker, has also played very vital role. Most what we use about the African Player of the Year, not scoring the goal, but is
involved in all of our goals.
All the goal.
Yeah, and you could see coming from that change, you could even see when Murphy came in. You know, a lot of people haven't watched Murphy. Some of us have seen fantastic players. When you could see that Murphy came in, a few moves he made. Exactly. So so in fact on social media, people were like, why has he been putting Murphy on the bench all this while? You know, I feel this is someone once in a while you could bring in games to support Osimhen.
Particularly at the time when he blinked on Nashua, in place of Osimhen. Just like you see, we don't know. He's with the team. Maybe there's some certain things that were not disclosed, some things we don't have, some certain privilege that we don't have. And like looking at that match yesterday, I was watching the second one was lamenting. Particularly after they were going to get into the final, and if we get to the final, most of the guys that were given that duty to execute that final yesterday were played for the first time in that competition. For instance, Omero playing in the final round of the group stage against Guinea-Bissau. He was the captain of that day, but he also come as a substitute on two occasions. But yesterday he came into that match particularly just for the assignment to play the penalty. This guy, the guy that scored the decisive goal, Kelechi Iheanacho, for the first time came into that match for the first time. That was his first game yesterday. Show also Tera Murphy. And these are the people that the opportunity that the assignment was thrown on them to decide for Nigeria's either Nigeria to proceed or not to proceed. And as God have it, they deliver perfectly. Even online, that he threw all this one. Not that he played the penalty badly, but he overflowed it. He actually beat the goalkeeper, but unfortunately it was not on time. Thank God that the blame did not fall on him, unlike what happened to Saka and the rest in England.
Of course, interesting match It was, and of course, when we come back from this break, we'll go on a break. When we come back, we'll give you analysis of Cote d'Ivoire versus Congo, then give you a preview of the final, Nigeria versus host Cote d'Ivoire. Don't go nowhere. All right, welcome back from that break. It's still sports, albeit yes, the other semi-final saw host Cote d'Ivoire against DR Congo in that one. Of course, a interesting match, end-to-end stuff it was, but he had to take a Sebastian Haller 65th minute goal to give Cote d'Ivoire the lead, and the match stayed that way till the end. 1-0 it was against DR Congo, setting up that final clash against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yesterday whichever way it was, 1-0 it was, but it was still a tight game, whichever you look at it, because the Congolese, it's not as if they were outplayed.
They will have an opportunity.
Exactly, so I just felt they were just quite unlucky, especially in front of goal, and that match could have gone anywhere, but thanks to a beautiful taking ball from Sebastian Haller, who missed a lot of games from Portugal. It seemed to be like he was the man they've been missing for most of the tournament.
Yeah, actually he was, and he justifies his inclusion in that particular match yesterday. And congratulations to the Cote d'Ivoire. I see Cote d'Ivoire as one of the luckiest team in this tournament.
Luckiest team, not one of the luckiest teams.
But I think their luck has ended.
Exactly.
Their luck to end yesterday by the special grace of God. This is a team that almost completely out of the competition. But only God knows how they sneak in to the back door and they come back to the tournament, and now they are not in the mainstream of the tournament. The luck has always been on their side. Even again the Senegals, they almost go out. Senegal almost come them in the round of 16. But at the minute, at the line, they get equalizer and then went ahead to win the match on the penalty. Same also again in the quarterfinal match against Mali. It was the same scenarios. Mali almost come out there, even when they were down with one man. Mali almost come out, but still God on their side. At the last minute, they were able to win the match, overcome the match, and lead and eliminate Mali. But yesterday was the perfect match that they have. They said that they were sure of winning the match even before the final whistle. And they get their goal almost 30 minutes to the end of the match. And congratulations to them. But I think luck has already been on our side. Just like I said yesterday, for the first time the Congolese were tested defeat yesterday in this competition. They were so fantastic, like you normally describe it as the dark horse of the tournament. They were fantastic on team. But yesterday, sometimes your luck needs to come to a point where your luck will have to run out. And which I believe that it's like Cote d'Ivoire has also reached their final bus stop of luck. You can't back on the luck till the end, and you expect them to take the cup. Yes, they deserve to take the cup, but at least people who have worked hard deserve to win the trophy.
Exactly. Of course, just like you're saying, for the Ivorians, taking a silver medal won't be a bad achievement for them as hosts.
Even playing the quarterfinals to be
exactly. Seeing how they emerged.
They have their mind from the group stage. So getting to the final, to me, it might be, and they should be comfortable that they are able to get to the final, and they have to be comfortable
with a coach who has largely been untested.
Yes, and they should be comfortable that they be in the final, and even the coach that they sacked the coach, and the coach that came in is an opportunity that God has given a job that he never expected to get it. He has gotten the job, and then I think they have achieved what they are supposed to achieve, and they shouldn't dream more than that.
Well, I agree.
They shouldn't expect anything more than what they have achieved. It's quite enough for them. Reaching the final have justified the money they spent to put this competition together.
Of course, before that final takes place, there will be a bronze medal match, which will be between South Africa and DR Congo. That match will come up, I think, Saturday. Yeah, before that final. So, looking at that one and that encounter, who do you think will be more motivated? I think for the South Africans maybe going into the match against the Super Eagles because of maybe the noise they made that this time they are going to ensure, get to the final at expense. Maybe that third place match, they might be a bit demoralized. So maybe the Congolese should be able to, secure the bronze.
Yes, if you look at the loser yesterday, the two losers yesterday, South Africa feel more pain
Exactly.
than the Congolese. It's not that the Congolese were not having the ambition of playing the final, but South Africans will still feel more pain than the Congolese. South Africans will have everything. They believe that they have Nigeria. This time, they will not allow Nigeria to go.
Exactly. And seeing how we've punished them in every time we meet at the AFCON.
Yes. Often time
Exactly.
Nigerians always end their campaign, but they believe that this time around they'll have to have their pound of flesh back on Nigeria on the bench mission. But unfortunately, they have to postpone that day they have to postpone it for another day. They couldn't succeed. And another thing that even come before that match yesterday was that there's one athlete in Morocco raised an alarm that the presence of CAF president Musapi has always been a motivation or has always favored the South Africa. Even me, when I was starting to look at that argument, I wanted to believe that yes, you see a CAF president from South Africa sitting there watching every South African match, and those referees are within the African, and the referee also desire they want to come back for another appointment, and you can't attempt to go against the against the country of the president. And even when the beer drama happened yesterday, I said, was it one of those things that the Moroccan athlete was saying?
Yeah, because on the second thought, well, that might be a penalty. But my only problem was when that incident happened. From that progression to that goal, it took almost like 2 minutes.
That is the questions everybody was asking.
It took almost 2 minutes. Why wasn't the referee alerted to stop
the match? Even if you look
you saying that if we had missed that goal, will they have referred back to VAR? I don't think so.
No.
Because even when that thing happened, the South African players, none of them protested.
Nobody. There was never any argument about that.
They moved on because I noticed they didn't protest.
Nobody.
I saw it.
That's why nobody even noticed that something happened.
Because when it was VAR, a lot of people thought, is it for offside or for what?
Or for goal, yes.
Exactly. Not knowing that an incident happened, you left the ball in play until a goal was scored.
And if you
had to call the referee back that
you even take the referee some time before you agree with them to go and check the
exactly.
Because he couldn't understand. Because
why did you stop me?
The issue happened almost 2 minutes back. In a different in a different zone. You didn't stop the match. You didn't call his attention to after the match was played from there. Pass the midfield, get to the attack, and a goal is now scored, and he has allowed the goal. You are now calling him that no, you need to go back to where they start the they start the playoff. So, but at that time, I begin to feel I say is one of those things that the Moroccan athlete was trying to raise. How come the PR has to drag attention back to this? But however. No matter how Nigeria deserve to be in the final, and God has given us the final, and now we're asking the Cote d'Ivoire, they have done enough, and they should be contented with where they have reached.
So, looking at that final properly, Nigeria versus Cote d'Ivoire, do you think there's any need for Pesero to change strategy, or like they say sometimes in football, you don't change a winning team? Should we still go with the same first 11 like we've gone, or do we, bring a new dynamic to the team, or just keep the team as it is? Because hopefully in that final, if Sanusi might likely be fit, if Sanusi is fit, then it means Calvin Bassey will go back to his DM position alongside with Frank Onyeka, while with he will be playing in front of them.
That'll be fantastic. Yes, just like you say, there's no need changing the winning team. But if you look at yesterday's match. There was a different changes yesterday compared to the previous match we've seen. He made a change earlier. Yesterday in yesterday's match compared to his previous game. He always wait to almost to the last minute or the 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes before he make a change. But yesterday he made the change earlier. And maybe looking at those guys that came in yesterday. I was looking at, just like you say, in as much as we don't want to change the winning team, we are in the final. And final is always a different ball game.
Very well.
And we are playing this Cote d'Ivoire in the group stage. So we understand each other, and them do also understand us, and them also have learned their mistake, what caused them the defeat against Nigeria in the opening match. And then they are going to strategize, and they are going to watch, and at the same time they have more tape of the Super Eagles now that are played so far. Between now and Sunday, they will keep on to review and watch this tape and tape over again. So I would have liked to, if you can't pair Terra Murphy with
Osimhen up front.
Osimhen up front. I would have liked to see Teramofi pair with the team to have more attacking
Exactly.
game in the
Exactly.
in the early match.
And so that too much focus on Osimhen won't be there, because yesterday, if you notice, there were always 2 or 3 men on Osimhen all the time.
It's always like that,
Exactly.
and that's also give other player to operate.
Exactly. So imagine having another striker. Osimhen, once if he's able to pull out some people, then that other striker should be able to.
Yes.
Exactly.
So Lukman has played well, fantastic so far, and also he's also surprised supporting the midfield. If he can beat Ramofi, arrested Lukman, let Lukman came in
exactly.
later, that would be fantastic. And then looking at this match, if you look at that match yesterday, there was a history that was printed yesterday, and we pray history was printed yesterday in favor of Nigeria, and we pray another history should not repeat again against Nigeria. Almost 40 years ago, when Cote d'Ivoire hosted their first AFCON, we were in the semi-final. At that same stadium, Nigeria played in that semi-final and won it and progressed to the final. But in the final, we lost the match to Cameroon in the final. But I believe that repeat of we lose the final in Cote d'Ivoire 40 years ago should happen.
It won't be the case at all. Exactly. Anyway, well, interesting matchup is going to be on Sunday, the final, where every Nigerian will be rooting for the Super Eagles, of course. But first off, the third place match will come up on Saturday, which will be South Africa against DR Congo. So looking at that match, where do you think
South Africa,
who do you think will take the bronze medal?
Yeah, actually, sometimes in a football match, it is only in the sport that you see a bronze medal celebrating while the silver medals winner crying.
Exactly.
So yes, those bronze medals they have lost the match, and you see likely going to see the bronze medal winner celebrating on Saturday, and you see the silver medal crying on Saturday. And I think Cote d'Ivoire should be the one to cry. Looking at South Africa, they are just like we see earlier. South Africa are completely down. They're completely demoralized. They didn't expect. They didn't believe. That's why they knew that Nigeria is only having an upper hand against them. And but this time they were so much sure that they are going to have their hands against Nigeria this time. And with that demoralizing, but even I'm sure if you go to their country now, all the fans, everybody were completely down. So there was a lot of pressures that they are going to win this match.
Exactly.
And obviously that is going to affect their spirit. I don't know how the coach is going to psych them up, or whoever is going to psych them up to come up in this match. So I'm not surprised if they are going to get the result against them.
So briefly before we leave, what's your general assessment so far of this AFCON?
Yeah, fantastic. I give kudos to the CAF, and I give kudos to Nigerian players. It's not Nigerian, African players. They have raised the bar. They have raised the bar. You come to the extent that we are watching African competitions as if we are watching European competition. So by every standards, by everything, even the officiating has been quite fantastic. Even the one we are lamenting against the Nigerians, that the PR, the other day we commended the PR for the job they have went on. Our worry yesterday was that the delay in bringing the attention of the referee back to that. Even though it was a fantastic decision, it was actually a penalty against. It was actually a penalty against Nigeria.
A bad tackle from Yusuf. I think it was that it was out of inexperience.
Yes. Even the Troost was telling that.
Exactly.
It was quite inexperienced, and it was a bad tackle. It was a good decision, but the decision was taken at the wrong time. That's always the question. The PR has mastered their job, and they've done a fantastic job in this competition, and they officially also. And I also commend the African players. They have raised the bar, and their discipline is something else in this tournament compared to the last edition. The numbers of red cards in this competition have been very minimal. So it was, I think, it's absolutely kudos to everybody. And coming back home, I also use the opportunity that sometimes I'm not trying to commend anybody or appreciate anybody. If somebody do something well, you need to give them kudos for them. They have done well, and when they do bad, you need to say they have done bad. I also commend the Nigerian Football Federation. At least we have a seamless competitions.
Exactly. No
much noise.
No off-field issues like we hear of payments, and all of that. Everything has been smooth. Exactly.
Even as we're talking, the Super Eagles are still being owned match bonus.
Of course.
Their match bonus are still being owned at this competition. But how the Gusho-led board has been able to manage to convince these players and talk to them in the fatherly way and in a good manner that the player now understand with them and keep their calm without any issues. To me, I give kudos to Nigeria Football Federation. They have done him well, and I pray that we should be able to celebrate this, to have something to celebrate it. For after a very long time, Nigerians have feel the pain of not winning. Throughout the P-League era, it was a disaster. A lot of people
failing to qualify
back to back after you inherited a team as a champion, but we failed to qualify to even defend the title back to back. For 8 years, his P-League served as the president of Nigeria Football Federation. He only managed to qualify for AFCON only one time or 2 times. Back to back, couldn't qualify. And so I give kudos to P-League for Busu, how he does it. I don't know, but to me, in my view, he may not be the best person to lead Nigeria Football Federation, but he has been able to manage the situation so far well, and I commend him for that.
All right, that's a good place to leave it. So we will be looking forward to Sunday and hoping that that cup will return back to Abuja here.
And probably we'll be able to bring it to the studio.
Yes, hopefully. Well, that's our package on this episode and generally our coverage of the AFCON. Salifu, thank you for being with me during this AFCON, our special coverage of this tournament so far.
Thank you, Alhasan.
All right, we'll come your way next week with our regular programming. Until then, do have a wonderful time. My name is Afa Acho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the